Alright, hi you guys, just a really quick update today. Sorry about like the mess everywhere. I haven't had a chance to like clean anything up as I bumped the table. Just because I'm heading into work later today for like an afternoon shift, so kind of got to sleep in a little bit, have been like getting ready and just dealing with a couple of things before I need to leave in like less than an hour. So I just figured I would come on here and film a quick update in regards to our like fertility clinic, like IUI Cycle, all of that stuff. I don't know if this video will be up to date. It might be up late tonight. I'm not 100% sure just because I don't know how long I'll be at work today and then how much I need to do after work. But I figured I would still film this because then I can edit it tomorrow morning at the latest. But I hope it'll be up tonight so that it's kind of like the same day sort of thing. So anyway, today is January 11th, I believe. So our fertility appointment was 2 days ago on Monday. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that one first and then come back to this one. I'll try and like link it in here somewhere or link it down below so that you guys can watch it and hear our experience. We did have that appointment at the private fertility clinic that opened up like last summer or something around here, and we finally got in and we have some exciting news about it. So as you guys could probably tell in my last video if you went back and watched it, that I wasn't like 100% like excited. I didn't seem as, I don't know, like while I was editing I'm like, oh man, you sound like such a Debbie Downer and you should be so excited about the appointment and stuff. But to be honest, I was really disappointed in the way that it ended in regards to not being able to do IUI right away and having to wait for testing and stuff, because in the end that to me was kind of like no different than the clinic that we would have went to before, like at the hospital, because they wanted to do more testing for our cycle too before we could have done anything. So I think that was kind of like the experience was great and it was a really nice place, but I was in a way I was upset about the fact that it wasn't happening the way I wanted it to. And so yeah, that was kind of like, I'm happy and I'm excited, but I just figured I would explain that little mood that I had going on there because I noticed it and I don't know if you guys did, but yeah, that's what was going on. So anyway, after that appointment, after I filmed the video and I edited it and I posted it, that afternoon, like late afternoon, I went to the bathroom and I started like bleeding, like heavy bleeding. And at that point, like, okay, I should start like this. When we went to the fertility clinic, at that point I only had, like the day before, I had a little bit of spotting. If you follow me on Instagram, you knew the whole back and forth. So anyway, Sunday night I had some like tiny little spotting after baby dancing. And I've never had anything like it before. Like it was legit just 2 drops of blood and that was it. I was only like 11 or 12 DPO, so way too early for AF to show up, and I didn't know what was happening. So I asked a couple of people, and like a bunch of you were like, it could be implantation, like that. If you haven't had anything since, it must be that. And it kind of matched up with my temperatures dropping too. So in a way, I guess I was hoping that we wouldn't need to do IUI and that I was already pregnant, like one of those, like you go to your appointment and then you don't need it because you did it on your own kind of things. But anyway, so we went to our appointment Monday morning, then Monday afternoon I went to the washroom and I started like bleeding. Like it was, I don't know, it wasn't like heavy or anything, but when I wiped it was a little bit there. So TMI, but this is what my channel is all about. I'm just being honest with you guys. So I kind of like popped in a tampon and kind of pulled it back out just to see what's up there, how much of it is up there, what's happening. So that's what I did, and there was a lot of blood, I guess, but not like a heavy period yet. Like it was there, but not crazy. Like it was, I don't know, hard to explain. So I was like, okay, I guess that's AF on her way, but she's way early. So none of that made any sense to me, but whatever. So I was upset that evening because obviously like you just can't help yourself and having your hopes up every cycle, hoping that maybe it is it. So that evening I was like really upset, and then I went to the washroom again to change my tampon, thinking that AF was like here full blown, ruining everything for any chance at all for IUI to happen. I guess I should backtrack with that too. Our IUI could have happened that cycle if AF would have stayed away a little bit longer, meaning that my doctors would have had more time to get my previous records in time so that we could get going. But now with AF showing on the same day, there was no way of them getting everything that day for me to book in and like our IUI and ultrasounds and stuff. So that was like, I was double cranky because I wasn't pregnant, and now this IUI cycle was down a drain. And for me, like, I have my hopes really high set on conceiving in January, because that would mean an October baby, and I'm born in October. So yeah, that was kind of like my whole mindset in that. So definitely upset. Anyway, so then I went to the washroom Monday evening to change my tampon, like I said, thinking that AF was like full blown here. Now that tampon was like, there was I don't know, like a little bit of red blood, but it was more of like a AF kind of spotting, if that makes any sense. Like, it was bright red and there was like a clot or two, so thinking that it's full-blown AF, but barely anything even on there after like 2 hours, and it disappeared that whole evening. Like, I didn't have to wear a tampon, a pad, nothing all night long. It was gone. So from Monday to Tuesday, it was completely disappeared, and I Googled like a bunch of it, and a lot of people said, okay, like that must definitely be implantation. Like, you can have a light period kind of and still end up being pregnant. So that was the only thing that logically made sense to me, because I've never ever had problems with AF, ever. Not showing early, not being like weird spotting. Like, yes, I've had days where AF was like super light and not as heavy, but it was still the same consistency of I would spot pink for like half a day, and then it would turn into full on like blood. So this was completely off to me, and that was the only like logical resolution. And of course, in your head, you still sit there and go, okay, maybe this is really it, maybe I am pregnant, and then you just get disappointed again. But that's how TTCing works and infertility works. You just can't help yourself but to think that it is it, and with every little piece of hope that you can hang on to, you kind of do, even though you know the chances aren't that high and it's probably going to end up being negative anyway. But you just like, you're like, okay, no, like this is it. Sorry, phone. So anyway, then Tuesday morning, so yesterday morning, I woke up and my temps, like I was temping, and it went even higher, like back over the cover line. And I'm like, okay, this must be like weird AF, like with spotting, and then temps going back up, like something, like it must be implantation. So I got up, I went to the washroom, and before I peed in a cup, I kind of wiped and checked if there was anything, and if anything, there was like 1 or 2 like brown spotting spots. That's it. No blood, no nothing. So yeah, that was like completely, I don't know, confusing. Anyway, so like I wiped and checked before I was like, I'm not going to take a test if AF like is right here. So I checked that first, and she wasn't there. So I peed in a cup and I tested, and BFN. Like, I took a first response just to make sure, because I know they detected like a hormone of like 8 or something last time. So I took that, even a Walmart cheapie, and they both were negative. I posted on Instagram, and some of you thought they saw something, and after I posted the picture and I inverted it, I saw it too. But the way you sometimes take pictures, it catches the shadow of like the indent line, like where the line should be, which makes it look like there is a line, but there really isn't. So that was frustrating. Like, everybody like, oh my gosh, I see there's a very faint line, like it's there, and you had to like explain it to everybody like, no, it's not there. So anyway, that was upsetting and like weird. And then like I had breakfast and I went back to the bathroom, and bam, back to like blood. Now same thing again, not heavy at all. It would like get a little bit heavier and really light and then disappear again. This is like the weirdest AF spotting whatever I've ever had. So yesterday had like a few clots more in it, so I was debating on whether or not to call yesterday cycle day 1, but I told myself, like, I know I'm going to regret this and it might mess everything up, but I said that it was blood, but it was still very light, and it was only the first day of me. Like, I didn't take any progesterone yesterday because I want AF to show, because at this point it's obvious that it's her trying to show really hard, but she can't because the progesterone is maybe holding her back. I don't know, that's how I'm explaining it to myself. So the idea now is like, I didn't take any progesterone yesterday. I'm not taking any today, and I'm hoping that she's just going to keep getting heavier. So far today has been like I haven't had a moment where there wasn't any blood, so it's been more steady even though it's light. So I think I'm going to call today cycle day 1 for sure. Just because like there is blood, and it's like the second day of kind of bleeding. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know if I should have called yesterday's cycle day 1 because I did have red blood, but it wasn't heavy. Like, it was spotting, and not like today's any heavier, but it's more steady. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry for like the rant about my period. It's mind-boggling what's happening this cycle, and not like my cycles aren't hard enough with when ovulation's happening. Now my whole AF is like screwed up, and I don't know why, because I didn't do anything differently. But whatever, we're gonna make do with it and just keep going. So I called around yesterday because I was trying to get all my paperwork faxed over faster, knowing that AF was pretty much here, and I wanted a chance to maybe get this going now. So I called my old clinic and said, I need my old records, please, so I can pick it up and drive it over to the new clinic. And they're like, well, I need to ask like the doctor, like it was the nurse or whatever, and she's like not in most of the day. So I'm like, okay, great. So what can I do? And they were like, your new clinic can just fax us and say what they need, and I can fax it over to them easier than it is to give it to you. So I'm like, okay. So I called my new clinic and I let the nurse know what to do, and she's like, okay. They deal a lot with that clinic anyway, because they send all their HSG referrals over to my clinic, like my doctor that did it for me too. So they know each other, which is a good thing. So I'm hoping things will move along faster. So I was talking to the nurse and I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of starting with my period. I'm assuming tomorrow will be for sure cycle day 1 if it's not already today. And I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you this, because my notes, like my little booklet said, when you're on cycle day 1, give us a call and say, hey, I'd like to book my stuff. And I was like, I didn't know if the doctor wanted us to go ahead now or if she wanted to wait. And she was like, hey, let me check on the notes. What she said, she's like, well, she didn't really say anything, so let me call you back and talk to her about it and see what she says. So she said she would call me back before the end of the day. She called me at 3:30 and they closed at 4:30. So I knew within that hour she would call. So I was legit like sitting here, legit the spot, looking at my phone, just waiting for them to call. I was like shaking, I was nervous, I was just freaking out because I wanted them to say we can go ahead. So like 4:10, 4:15 rolls around, and I get a phone call again, and I'm like, hey, Samantha, that's her name. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, well, the doctor gave the go-ahead, so if you guys want to go, we can give it a go. We just need to check with the nurses that they're free for you to book in, like, all your ultrasounds, and they're not already booked up. So I was like, okay, great. At least the doctor said yes, but now it's up to the nurses. So she was like, let me check who the nurse on call is today, and I'll, like, transfer you over and just talk to them. So she transferred me over, and I was talking to the nurse, and she was super nice, and I'm like, okay, so I'm, like, in between spotting and period, so I don't know if I should call today cycle day 1 or if I should just wait until tomorrow. And she's like, I don't know, that's up to you. And I'm like, okay, let's just wait until tomorrow, because in my head I was thinking, I'm hoping that my period's gonna pick up due to the progesterone getting out of my system. So I said I'd rather wait and call tomorrow cycle day 1. And she's like, okay, so then that makes the 20th of January here 10, like cycle day 10, which means that that will be like your first ultrasound. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know. Didn't she say she wanted like a baseline ultrasound? And she was like, oh, let me check your notes. And she's like, oh, she does. And we usually like don't do baseline when you're just doing letrozole. They only do that with injectables. So she didn't like realize that that's what she wanted. She was like, okay, so we can get you in like either Thursday or Friday. Now in my head again, I was trying to do like the math, and I kind of wish I would have said Thursday, because if this is already my period and today's already cycle day 2, then tomorrow would have been cycle day 3, and if it's cycle day 1 today, then that would have made tomorrow cycle day 2. So either way I would have been covered. Now that I booked it on Friday, it's either perfectly cycle day 3 or already cycle day 4. But at this point, like, it's whatever I want to call it. And like I said, I'm hoping AF will pick up and not screw me over completely. I'm hoping today will be heavier and that I actually, like, get AF properly, calling it cycle day 1 today. I know this is, like, so confusing. I wish you guys were there and it would make more sense. I'm trying to, like, explain it as good as I can. So anyway, we're all booked in for Friday for a baseline ultrasound, which will hopefully be cycle day 3, which means that evening I'll start my letrozole. I am being up to 7.5 milligram instead of 5 milligram, which is kind of freaking me out because I don't know what's happening. I've been doing fine on 5 milligram. I'm worried my body will stop responding and just not give a crap. Or I'm like, in a way, I'm hoping that it'll mean earlier ovulation, like proper eggs, like bigger, better, everything. So fingers crossed for all of that. And then again, so this Friday is an ultrasound, the baseline ultrasound, and then next Friday will be cycle day 10, not baseline, but like another ultrasound. And from then on, it's kind of like I don't know how often they want to see me after that because I won't know when it's happening. But my plan is I'm gonna go like order more Wanful OPKs. I haven't used those in forever. But not knowing when my body could ovulate is driving me crazy because I don't want to miss the chance of doing IUI, like if we miss it completely. So my plan is to do OPKs to kind of try and catch my surge, and if I think it's happening, try and get in for another ultrasound, and then hopefully that IUI as well. Kind of have to play it ear by ear. If I respond well and my eggs are growing fast, they might even do a trigger shot just to time things properly, which is exciting. So yeah, I'm like, that's kind of the exciting news, I guess, in all of this is that we're doing IUI this cycle. And after I hung up on the phone and everything was booked, I just sat there and I bawled my eyes out because I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think that, like, I thought we would have to wait and try again on our own and just like waste another month. And this way I know everything's happening, like it's happening now, which is nerve-wracking, but so exciting. Like, you have no idea how exciting this is. We've been waiting so long to be able to do this. And yeah, just like a step forward, and as scary as it is because so much depends on it, like we have such high hopes for this and we really believe that this is it and we can make it work and we're gonna get our rainbow baby through this. So exciting times. I do plan to vlog as much as I can now that I know when the appointments are. Hopefully there won't be any more stolen trucks that kind of throw us completely off with vlogging. So yeah, expect a video on Friday, I guess. I do work after an appointment on Friday, so hopefully it's kind of like first come first serve, which kind of sucks. Like, you have to be there at 7:30 and then you kind of get an order of whoever is there first. So hoping we're kind of one of the first people so that I can go home before work because I start work at like 12 or something. But yeah, I'll definitely edit the video. It might be up like really late Friday, if not first thing Saturday. But for sure, expect a video again this week about our first ultrasound, which will be so exciting. I hope you guys enjoy this update. I'm already at like 20 minutes again because I'm trying to explain all the cycle day things, and I wanted this to be fast because I need to go to work. So anyway, I'll see you guys again this week, and thank you so much for your continued support. We're so excited, and we can't wait for this. Especially, like, I'm so excited to be able to like vlog this and document all of this and share it with all of you guys. For those of you that have done IUI, I would love to know what you wish that somebody would have told you about your first IUI that you didn't know, or anything that you think I should know, anything that I should watch or like be concerned about, or whatever you have to say about IUI. Please leave it in the comment section down below. I've been Googling and reading so much about everything. So the more I know from people that actually did it, the more exciting it is for me. And I'll talk to you guys this week. Fingers crossed. Bye, guys.